Welcome to Thriving Tribesmen. My name is Corey, your host, and I'm excited to be making this episode. It's 2024. Very excited. 2023 was amazing. 239 guys we empowered in the relationships last year. This year we're going for 250. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Make sure one of those 250 people is you, because we're offering a free consultation call. And this free consultation call, in fact, some of the guys within that 239 have come from that consultation call, which wasn't a sales call, by the way. It was us walking them through what's happening within the relationship, and then we gave them a blueprint on how to go and start fixing the relationship for themselves. Some people have figured it out. They were probably just at the cusp of resolving the sexless relationship, and the blueprint was what they needed to push them over the line so they can start seeing results. And some of the guys okay, maybe I need a little bit more help. And then that's when we discussed about them joining Reignited Men. But like I said, it's for free, and it's completely for free. Like, we completely give you as much as we can on the front end for free. So really, when we start talking about you joining Reignited Men, it's such an easy sell, because you've already tasted the program. You already know how we coach, and you've seen the results, that we deliver results. So it's a results first sort of coaching program, which is completely different to everybody else, where they sort of charge you and then you're just sort of waiting for these results that never come. So anyway, we're going to 2024. For me, yesterday, I was New Year's Eve. We spent quite some time at Harry Potter Studios. We got to see behind the scenes. Obviously, I was excited about the engineering side of things, where they made all these robotic arms and mechanisms that were used as props. And I'm so absolutely amazed by how many people were involved in creating this series of the Harry Potter, and it was incredible. It was enjoyable for me, for my daughter, for everybody. Had something that they could actually enjoy. And one of the things that I found quite fascinating is when we got to a place where they sculpted some of the hands and the faces. There was a exhibit where there was a lady, and when we came up to this exhibit, the person that was overseeing the thing had gloves on, and we're not allowed to touch it, but there was two hands. And with those two hands, the lady spoke to my daughter and said, which one of these ones do you think were used within the film? And then you had to choose between these two. And when my daughter was choosing, she chose the right ones. And then they said, why did you choose these ones? And my daughter didn't really know why she chose. She just chose. It was like just A or B, so she chose whichever. And the lady proceeded to explain that the reason why this one was used as compared to the other one is that the other one had more detail and it looked more realistic. So when the person was wearing it, and the person was when they were filming the film, if you as a viewer saw a fake hand and it didn't have as much detail, it would take your attention away from the viewing, and then you start thinking about the thing that the hands that don't look real, and which will take you down. Instead of focusing on the story, you would now be going down the rabbit hole of, is it a prosthetic? Is it prosthetic? Is it wax? Is it you start thinking about the hand that's fake rather than the actual following the story. So they have to make it as realistic as possible to the thing, and really it's just so your attention is not taken away by the fact that the hand is fake. So I found it quite fascinating, and I know you're already wondering, what's that got to do with me being in a sexless relationship? Is that when you guys are communicating, when it comes to an argument, and you're speaking, not an argument, but at least when you're discussing about having more sex within your relationship, sometimes you give out information that drives you away from the actual main point. So if, for example, if you're communicating about frequency and that the lack of frequency, usually she will blame you, she will and you start volunteering information of that. When she blames you or shames you, you bite and you start volunteering information that will derail you from the actual thing that you're trying to talk and resolve. And this is very important, because every time when we from personal experience, whenever we started talking about frequency, we tend to come with this sort of list of evidence of reasons why it's okay for us to have more frequency. And therefore, we talk about, look at how much I've cleaned, look at how much I've been obedient, how much I've changed my behavior. Look at all these things that I've done in order to be qualified to have more frequency. And when you do so, that's one of those things that derails you, because now you've got focus on the things that you are doing rather than what should be happening in the relationship. And this is one vice compared to the other one is when she blames you, you go into defensive mode, and then all of a sudden by defensive mode, like, oh, look, it wasn't like that, you've misread this, it's not quite like that. Whenever you are now in a defensive mode and you're trying to back yourself up, again, that's you being derailed into something else that isn't the actual conversation, or at least the thing that's going to push you towards the end goals or the outcome. So it becomes important to understand, like, what are those things that are fake, that are pushing me away from the end goal of the conversation. And whenever you're having that conversation, it's good practice to agree for that point to move on. So, for example, if I was talking about frequency with my wife, and then she says, all you talk about is sex, all you want is sex, you're such a pervert, I would agree. I said, yes, that's true. I want sex from you, and yes, I push so much because I love you and I want to be connected to you. I agree. By agreeing, it takes away the sting and then helps us to focus on the actual conversation, as compared to if I start going to defensive mode and say, no, I'm not quite, I'm not a pervert, and no, it's not all about sex, and no, it's about romance. And the moment you do that, it allows you to be derailed, and then you're now talking about that. So for me, if I agree and say, yes, you can call me pervert if you like, I'll agree. I'm probably now, because of the lack of sex, I'm probably in a place where I'm more perverted than when I with a good frequency. So I would agree. And when I've agreed, it then keeps us on the path of really dealing with what's the problem. So I thought that would be interesting for you guys to start off the year. And I was thinking about that in terms of how, if you're watching a film, you can easily be derailed from the story by little things. And whenever you're having a conversation, especially about frequency, it's easy for you to be derailed. That's why most people say, I've tried having a conversation and it never works. It never works because there's always ways of derailing the conversation. And again, it's not cerebral. Your wife is not thinking, I want to derail the conversation. It's such an uncomfortable conversation because she has to see how much of a bad wife she is. And again, you're presenting this thing that she's supposed to be comfortable having sex with you. She's supposed to be doing so, but she doesn't know why she's not able to do so. And therefore, she doesn't want to confront it. So anything to move away, subconsciously, she will do anything to move away from the conversation. So if it means blaming, it means shaming, it means derailing or delaying or whatever it takes to get away from that conversation because it's so impactful. So therefore, anything to derail it, it will happen. And you have to go in knowing that, and knowing that you might have to just say yes, agree, in order to actually get to the outcome goal that you want to go to. So for your first episode, hopefully that's something that's got you excited. This is where we're going to be going. We're going to be doing some really cool stuff coming up. We're going to be opening up the Reignited Men process. Like I said, for you guys, you can come in for the free calls and free seduction blueprints. And when we give you the seduction blueprints, again, this is how we get clients. So if you're excited about the blueprint, it starts working for your relationship, it gives you an opportunity for us to actually talk to you because you now know exactly how we work. We've given you results in advance. So thank you very much, guys. We'll be seeing you guys soon. Take care.